Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our reading through the Tanak night of the 10th of January, 2024. We'll be reading out of the Old Testament, out of the book of Joel for our discussion. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening, check out our videos. We have a lot of videos, over 700 or so for different topics. So take your choice. These videos will connect dots for you and lead you into the truth of the Holy Scripture. If you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you feel the need to support the channel to help it move along, we have Cash App at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Our hours of operation is Tuesday nights. We have advanced Bible study night for everybody. It's from 8 to 10 Central Time. And Wednesday nights we have our reading through the Tanak. It's from 8 to 10 Central Time. Then we have our women's advanced Bible study on Thursday nights from 8 to 10 Central Time. Then we come back on Friday nights and we have men's advanced Bible study night, and that's on Clubhouse, one of our non-Messianic room. That's from 8 to 10 Central Time. Then we have two Shabbat classes on Saturday, one from 10 to 12 a.m. in the morning, and then we come back to close the Shabbat out on Saturday evenings from 6 p.m. to 7. Okay, so for those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. And by that I mean we deal with Tanak and the Torah. Tanak being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts, which consists of our law, statutes, our judgments, and our culture, and the way that we're supposed to behave as Hebrew Israelites. Okay, shalom and welcome to our channel, and welcome to our reading through the Tanakh. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, the prayer. We're going to read the Psalms. We'll do some current events. Keep everything, keep up with what's going on in the world and what's tied to prophecy. Okay, and then we'll do some need to know information, do some Q&A, and then we'll go into our reading, which is the book of Joel. Okay, it's a moment of silence for the Lord of Hosts and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come before thee at this hour, praising you and honoring you because of your position, both in heaven and upon the earth, the position in which the Creator Yahweh have given unto thee. And through your spirit and counsel, O Lord, we have awakened to know who we are as a people and who you are as our Savior and our Redeemer. And we are thankful for all that you have done. And we are eagerly searching the scriptures out that we may be in the right place at the right time upon your arrival to this plan. Oh Lord, I pray to thee that you continue to let your light shine down upon us in spirit and in truth. And we love you and we seek you daily, O Lord, and there is none else besides thee to redeem us. We see you in the affairs of the world, and we faithfully await your deliverance. Peace be unto you. Okay, with that, we're going to read the Psalms. Okay. I'm going to read Psalms 3. This is a prayer for deliverance, the Psalm of David. Lord, how are they increased that trouble me? Many are they that rise up against me. Many there be which say of my soul, there is no help for him in God. Selah, but thou, O Lord, art a shield for me, my glory, and the lighter up of mine head. I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill. Selah, I laid me down and slept. I awake for the Lord sustain me. I will not be afraid of tens of thousands of people that have set themselves against me around about. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God, for thou hast smitten all mine enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongeth unto thee, Lord. Thy blessings is upon thy people. Okay, so it's a couple of things in this I wanted to shine a light on. It says, David is talking. This is during the time when uh, Absalom was trying to kill him. So it says, verse 4, uh, I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill. Selah. So over and over again on this channel, I keep telling you who the Lord of hosts is, who Israel's Savior is. And you see right here, whomever it is, David say cried to him, and he heard his voice out of his holy hill, which is a mountain. So this ain't in heaven. Creator Yahweh dwells in the heavens of heaven. Whoever this Lord is right here, David says that he heard him out of his holy hill. So he dwelled on his hill, which is his mountain. And we see right here that the same thing is going on with Isaiah. He says the same thing. Let's look at it right quick. Isaiah chapter 8, verse 18. Okay, Isaiah says the same thing. It says, behold, I and the children whom the Lord have given me are for signs and wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth on Mount Zion. So when we do a comparison, contrast to those two verses, Psalms 3 and 4, it says, he heard my voice out of his holy hill. And then we see that where the hill is at is in Isaiah 8 and 18. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord have given me are for signs and wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth on Mount Zion. So we see that holy hill is Mount Zion. And that Yahweh is in the heavens of heaven. And another verse to solidify that is 43, Isaiah 43. Keep in mind what we just read. So he says, Isaiah 43 and 10, ye are my witnesses, said the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know, believe me, understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. So we know Yahweh wasn't formed, but whoever this is ain't Yahweh. Then he says in 11, even I am the Lord. Besides me, there's no Savior. So this Lord right here is the Savior. And that's what David is saying right here. He says I read in verse 4, if I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill. See, like, I laid me down and slept, and I awakened from the Lord, for the Lord hath sustained me. I will not be afraid of tens of thousands of people that have set themselves against me round about. Arise, O Lord, save me. Yeah, O my God, for thou hast smitten all my enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. Salvation belongeth unto thee, Lord. Thy blessings is upon thy people. So we see from Isaiah 43, he's telling you that I'm your Savior. He ain't not trying to be the creator or God of the universe. He's a Savior. And that's what David just said right here in verse 8. Salvation belongeth to the Lord. Thy blessings is upon thy people. Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. Everybody good?
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna go to current events. Okay. We was talking about this yesterday, how they had shut down the convention that they was having in Ghana. So we're going to get some more information, more updated information.
Guys, this is a very sad day for Ghana and Pan-Africanists. We were expecting these great speakers to speak today, January 7th, and someone from higher up has cancelled this convention. And this is a disgrace. And this is very, 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 very embarrassing. And whoever called the shots to make this happen, who is their PR? Who is advising them? Stopping these guys from speaking at the Black Star Square is not going to stop them and their message. I don't know what you were thinking. I made a video the other day and I said, we have come into a time of transparency and accountability. And the whole world will hear what you have done. Whoever is behind this will do some research, will figure it out, but whoever is behind this, the whole world will hear what you have done. You are not only an enemy to Ghanaians, but you are an enemy to Africa's freedom. You are an enemy to Africa uniting. This is so embarrassing. This is a disgrace. In fact, I actually wanted to fly down to watch this, right? If I had the means to do that. And this is just so embarrassing. How can we let the youth miss this opportunity? And you that you are in leadership, if your heart is from Ghana, I'm hearing rumors about who organized it. I don't really care about that. I care about the fact that you have robbed the youth of something very, very fundamental today. And Kwame Nkrumah will turn in his grave.
Speeches from my three most favorite Pan-Africanists living now. You know, from me, I'm a Pan-Africanist and a culture activist. And somebody like Pierre Lomuga, I've been wanting to interview him. Dr. Rikana, she's oh my goodness. These three people, I love them to things because I'm a Kenyan system. And as a Pan-Africanist, I identify with them and what the work that you're doing. It's a matter of I don't have to take a plane to go and listen to them. So I came to listen to them. Unfortunately, if I say cancelled, there was a military station there. They sacked all the policemen and everything. And so I think it's a sad day for Ghana. Honestly, I'm so sad. I'm so disappointed. And I hope that Dr. Rikana Nidia or Mobekasa for social media. I'm for the whole world. Because I think it's a disgrace to Ghana. It's a disgrace, honestly. Because for more advertise, they're winning. So whoever stopped it, almost all person stop one. Because all you needed that. If you wanted to call the organizers and say this will not be allowed, you should have done that and not the night of the event. The canopies, maybe they are not waiting. The people who are here in the country, they've been flown in, paid for musicians. You got like hundreds of thousands of people here. Now, what the military are we in the military era? It doesn't make sense. So if there was a cause or a reason that should have been done before tonight. So I think that is a disgrace to Ghana, and this is a really sad day because these are international speakers. These are not just mere people who don't know what they're about. And I came to listen to them because they speak truth. And for me, I love people who are bold, who look in your eye and tell you the truth. So they tell the truth. Papa, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, all those founders before Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, as I'm a poet, you know, and so there's a new block of the Wamo Kasa for Africa. Now, I met you one can society. Or be better because of what? It's me, and I think this is one of the darkest days in Ghana's history.
Okay. Anybody find anything else out about that? Got any information on it, or you got any comments?
I do. If you can kind of translate that for me, because I really didn't understand her dialect. I couldn't make it out.
She just said what the other lady was saying, that it was a disgrace to Africa, to the Ghanaian nation, and for them to cancel the event. And they canceled it on the night that all these people had flew in. She was saying that all
Okay.
four of those speakers they are international speakers, global speakers. So you had people that flew in to Ghana to participate in the event, and they get there that night, and they canceled it the night of the event, and all the people that came there. She said it was a disgrace.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Yeah. I think I did hear something about that, but I just didn't understand. I couldn't make out what she was saying.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Got another one right here. Let me see. Okay. This right here happened in Mississippi. I don't know if nobody knows anything about it.
The state of Mississippi has yet another problem. Now, it has been discovered that there have been 215 bodies buried behind a Hinds County jail in Mississippi. Now, originally, it was thought to be only a few of them, right? I did a story not too long ago about a brother named Dexter Wade who was hit by a police officer, obviously a police officer, in his car. And they, for whatever reason, took Mr. Wade and buried him without notifying his family at all. And then his family was notified sometime later after his mother went looking all over for him and all kinds of stuff, right? Well, civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump has gotten involved in the situation and is asking for an investigation as to what is going on. Now, specifically, he said this: people all across America are scratching their heads in disbelief about what's happening in Jackson, Mississippi with the Pauper's Graveyard. It also went on to say it went from talking about the water that was non-existent or contaminated to now we're talking about the graveyard. What is going on in Jackson, Mississippi? And I want to know too, what is going on in Jackson, Mississippi? We all know that it is in the South, right? Like the real South. And Jackson is considered to be one of the poorest cities in the nation, of course, in Mississippi. And we know that Black people have it extremely rough there, as Jackson, as I understand, is about 83 to 85% Black residents. Well, so again, they, for whatever reason, are not notifying people that their loved ones have been killed or died or whatever, and they're just burying them. So I guess we're trying to figure out, who is this they? Who is burying the people behind this specific jail? Is it the jailers, the sheriff? Who is doing this? And it's also said that in this particular graveyard, there's only a metal rod with a number I guess to indicate who may be under there or that somebody is under there. And so one of the pastors that's involved in it, Hosea Hines, he said this: it really saddens my heart to know that their relatives went that long, some over a year, not knowing if their loved one was dead or alive, and then coming to the realization that they have been buried in a pauper's grave behind a jailhouse. If they had been properly notified, they would have been able to pay their proper respect. Yeah, but again, and I agree with all of that. But why are they being buried there? What's going on? Are they being taken out nefariously? Like, what's going on? And in all fairness, Benjamin Crump says he doesn't know why or what's happened to those people, whether it's some racism or what. They don't know. It's unknown at this time. But, 215 people, are they all black? Are they mostly black? Which I would think that they are, being that the population there in Jackson, Mississippi is majority black people. Because it wasn't just Dexter Wade, it was another gentleman who was also buried, and his mother family found out, that something happened to him after they've been looking all over. Now, of course, the authorities are saying, well, we put a card on your door, or we called you and you didn't answer. It's like, come on now. Surely, somebody's looking for their relative, and they would know that you called if you call, right? You're not going to just gloss over that message or the card on the door and all that other stuff. So something tells me that, especially if they're black, we'll just bury them, just throw them behind the jail, and we'll just keep it pushing. But yeah, they're going to have to answer as to why 215 bodies have been buried there. And my thing is this: are the feds going to get involved? Joe Biden, Kamala, DOJ, somebody? Are y'all going to get involved? Are you going to go put some boots on the ground there and see what's going on there in Jackson? Y'all going to see why 215 people, sounds like maybe predominantly black, have been buried without their families notified for over a year? That don't sound like a normal occurrence. You ask me. It sounds like there's some racism involved. Because what if it was a bunch of white people? First of all, they wouldn't even be buried back there in the first place. They go and do everything they can to go notify their families. But imagine if it was a bunch of white people buried back there. You only know that, the fans and everybody else would have gotten involved. We need to get down to the bottom of, why they're there. But what if it was 215 migrants? They get down to the bottom of that, and everybody, because of course now, the migrants is a hot ticket item. So everybody wants to be on the forefront. They go and try to find out what happened to these poor people, But when it's black people, like, I guess we'll figure it out one day. And that's the other thing. I want to kind of admonish our people a little bit. Because I've been talking about this story, but I've seen it a lot on TikTok and social media about, hey, why aren't people talking about this? Why aren't people involved or even care about this story? And I think it's a darn good question. Why don't we care? Why don't we only care about things that are, kind of low-hanging fruit and all that other stuff? Potentially these are all of our people that are buried behind that jail. We should be raising the roof. We should be ringing the alarm. Hey, something is not right here with all of our people. Not all of them, but 215 people. That's a lot of people. Even if it was just one, but 215 people buried behind there, and we barely talking about it. We don't share it. We, talk about whatever all these celebrities and all these other people doing, but we don't talk about the everyday, black man, potentially black woman that's back there behind that jail with their family wondering for over a year where they are. We don't care or want to know why they're not telling these people. Because I give the authorities or whoever buried those people, one or two people, we couldn't contact them. 215? Y'all ain't contacting their folks for over a year? As all the people say, something in the milk ain't clean.
Okay, any comments on that? Anybody heard anything about that?
I haven't heard about it, but it's not surprising to me that that is happening. My mom's from Jackson, Mississippi, and it's a lot going on down there that has been going on.
Okay.
Shalom, everyone. Yes, I heard about this story a little while ago. So the young gentleman that that they're talking about, he was hit by a police car in March of 2023, right? And this was the story I read, and he remained in the morgue. Nobody claimed the body or anything like that because the police failed to notify them, even though he had his wallet in his front pocket, right? His mother did not find out anything about him until October 2023. So she had been reporting to the police all this time, that, her son was missing, asking questions and so forth. And he was hit by a police car. And so they even charged her to have his body, dug up. They charged her for that. And that's how she found out he had his wallet in his front pocket, because he was buried with the wallet in his front pocket once they exhumed the body. So that's when other people started coming forward thinking that their loved ones was buried back there.
Okay. Want that song? So I think Benjamin Crump involved now, right?
Yes, sir. He is.
Okay. Well, you hear some more about that. Okay. That song? Anybody else?
Yes.
Okay. Got some need to know information.
Do you know what a youthquake is? Surprisingly, it is in the dictionary. A youthquake is an important social or political change, one that is triggered by young people. Say young voters oust a long-serving politician from power. That's a youthquake. Many experts say a global youthquake is coming, and its epicenter is Africa. Most of the world, especially richer nations, are getting old. Meanwhile, Africa is young as ever. Just look at these numbers. The median age in Africa is just 19. Here in India, it's 28. In the US and China, it's 38. So clearly, Africa has an edge. By the next decade, Africa will have the largest workforce in the world. It will overtake India and China. By the 2040s, 2 out of every 5 children born will be African. By the 2050s, 33% of young people will be African. That's between 15 and 24 years of age. Around the same time, Africa will make up 25% of the total population, meaning 1 in 4 people in the world will be African. Now, I know that's a lot of numbers, but the big takeaway is this. The rest of the world will get old in this century. Africa will not. It will have a young, vibrant population by the 2050s. But can they cause a youthquake? Depends. For starters, we can't look at Africa as a monolith. Most Western experts tend to do that. But the fact is, Africa has 54 countries. Each of them has a different culture, a different demography, different leadership and resources. So their fortunes will also be different. Secondly, having a large population is not enough. Can you skill and educate them? Can you give them jobs? Well, the first part is okay. Around 44% of young Africans graduated high school in 2020. It was just 27% in the year 2000. What about health? Again, there is improvement. Africans have added 10 years to their life expectancy. It's gone from 46 to 56 in 20 years. Life expectancy. The global average is 64. So those stereotypes that you see on TV are not true. Africa has come a long way. Having said that, one problem still remains, and that is the problem of jobs. Consider South Africa. It's one of the biggest economies on the continent. But look at their unemployment, more than 30%. 1 in 3 South Africans do not have a job. So you can imagine the situation elsewhere in Africa. I guess it's all about policy. They have the resources, they have the young population. They also have a steady line of investors. China, Europe, Russia, the US, all of them are ready to put money in Africa. It's all about seizing the moment. But I must say, all this talk of the 2040s and 2050s raises a different question, that of Gen Z. People born between 1996 and 2010, that's Gen Z. If anyone can cause a youthquake, it is Gen Z. Today, they're the punchline to every joke. They make reels, they live a carefree life, but they're also very vocal. What would a world run by Gen Z look like? It's an important question. Globally, the average age of lawmakers is 50. So by 2050, Gen Z will be in charge, running parliaments, making laws, and soon enough, running countries. And what will that look like? Well, we don't have a crystal ball, but we do know the defining characters of Gen Z, like crazy high expectations, the need for instant results, shorter attention spans, fearless but often uninformed opinions, and finally, the need for validation. I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a spoiled child. But that's also what generational change looks like. If you ask someone who lived in the 1940s, they will say they had it rough, a world war, fights for independence, nation building. Compared to that, life became easier in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Same thing now. Life is easier today than in the last century. As a result, expectations are sky high. There is no appetite for struggle, it seems, no tolerance for difference of opinion, and no patience to wait for results. Is that good or bad? I'm afraid the jury is still out on that. Every generation finds a way to survive and thrive. I'm sure Gen Z will do the same. But in politics, they may have some trouble. Because here you need different attributes, low expectations, a very thick skin, and of course, a lot of patience. Some political investments take decades to bear fruit, like the recent Arab Israel normalization process, or the new momentum in India US relations. Can Gen Z replicate things like that? But even if they can't, one thing is guaranteed: it will be entertaining.
Okay. Any comments on that? These people know that who's gonna be in charge. So you can already see it going in that direction. They're looking at numbers, and while we fumbling around, and they looking at all these numbers, and they see how the direction that the world is going in, and it's Africa. They've been saying that for the last 10 years or so, and they're preparing for it. Okay. So with that being said, I'm opening up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything they want to talk about, broken down or whatever?
Shalom, I heard about Iran giving the U.S. like a ultimatum about continuing helping Israel and sending weapons and all of that for them, saying that if we interfere, if the West interferes, then there'll be some repercussions.
Yeah, I heard that. They've been doing that ever since the war started. It's just that it's
Yeah,
getting to the point now that a lot of people don't know it, but America's on high alert because of that.
Shalom. That's the same thing that um, Vladimir Putin did when he started with Ukraine, and he said inter- if they interfered, that they would that there would be repercussions also.
Right, exactly. But I think me just looking at it, the guys in Turkey and the one that's in Iran, they more hell bent on what they say they're gonna do than what Putin is. He said it's like he got to be nudged and poked before he react. But I think these guys right here, they're not, they made from a different cloth. I think they already
Yeah,
got bitter taste in their mouth about situations that recently happened with America.
yeah. With the Red Sea, by them wanting to stop those ships going to aid supplies and things to Israel, they also get an attack back, and they have lost some of their people when they they're shooting at those ships on the Red Sea for those cargoes.
Right. It's just a matter of time. It's gonna draw a bunch of other people that's sitting back watching. They're gonna bring them in, especially with Israel continuing to bombard Gaza with bombs and everything else. And people just on the edge. Those countries, surrounding countries are, you know, it's in but a matter of time. You're gonna see attacks here in America because of that. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. This is some little information that I thought I'd share with everybody. Let me get it.
Have you heard about the Epstein files? It's a bombshell. It's trending. The stuff of Hollywood blockbusters, politicians, film stars, a lot of money, sexual favors, and reputations at stake. Some 900 pages were unsealed today. The court website crashed. Such was the interest. These are documents linked to a man called Jeffrey Epstein, a financier and a convicted sex offender. He's dead now, and the names of people linked to him have come out. The list includes Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Michael Jackson, and Stephen Hawking. So what did they do? Some were accused of sexual misconduct, some just hung out with him, and some others were mentioned in passing. Here's a report.
In 2002, Jeffrey Epstein was asked about his famous friends. He didn't reveal names, but called them an investment. Epstein knew connections were important, so he made a lot of them. He called it a collection of sorts. Unsealed documents have now revealed that it wasn't just any other collection. It is an eclectic list of famous people. They had only two things in common. They were famous, and they all knew Epstein. In the 2000s, Epstein was a big name. No one knew what he did, but they all knew he was wealthy, so they all wanted to be seen with him. On paper, Epstein was a financier, but behind closed doors, he was a sexual predator. In the early 2010s, he was accused of sexually abusing underage girls. In July 2019, he was arrested in New Jersey. He was charged with sex trafficking. If convicted, he would spend 45 years in prison. But by August, Epstein was dead. He died by suicide in a Manhattan jail. But the case didn't die with him. If anything, it just snowballed. Now, 5 years later, it's come back to haunt his closest friends. The names of over 100 people linked to Epstein have been made public. They were all mentioned in the lawsuit. At the time, they were kept secret by court order, but now they've been unsealed. The list is a mixed bag. There are names of people accused of wrongdoing, people who made accusations, and then those who were potential witnesses or maybe just hung out with him. All of those names are there. So let's take a look at the big ones. The first is Bill Clinton, the 42nd President of the United States. In the court documents, he's referred to as Doe 36. His name is mentioned a record 50 times. According to one victim, Epstein once told her that Bill Clinton likes his girls young. Clinton has obviously denied all this. But there are records of him using Epstein's planes even after he left the White House. He used it to travel to Bangkok and Paris. Then there's Prince Andrew. The UK royal was accused of sexual abuse by Virginia Giuffre. In 2022, he reached an out-of-court settlement with her. He still denies the allegations. He's been stripped of his royal duties. These documents reveal details of the infamous prince's alleged abuse. Another survivor, apart from Giuffre, has claimed that Andrew groped her. There's also a mention of Stephen Hawking. Epstein talked about him in an email. Apparently, there was a claim. It was about the scientist taking part in an underage orgy. Epstein wanted to pay to prove that the allegations were false. There were many others. They were all mentioned in passing. Epstein talked about being on phone with them. There are so far no claims of any abuse against them. The list includes pop star Michael Jackson, actor Kevin Spacey, magician David Copperfield, Nobel laureate Lawrence Krauss, actor Leonardo DiCaprio, and model Naomi Campbell. More documents will be unsealed in the coming days, so PR teams have already gone into damage control mode. There was a time when almost everyone famous wanted to be friends with Epstein. Now, they can't run away from the association fast enough. Epstein may be dead, but he seems to be haunting his so-called old friends.
Okay, any comments on that? Okay, so this reminds me of the situation with Jesus, now that everything is being exposed, and the Lord of Hosts is bringing out the information on who he really is and how he came into existence, and it's point blank plain, and people in denial. And so on this video right here, you know what Epstein is, you know what he do. Why in the hell would Bill Clinton have a connection with him? It's only one reason he got a connection with him. Why would any of these people have a connection with him? Except for what he do. He's a pedophile. So they saying that no charges been brought. They don't, they can't, he just, friends list. It ain't but one reason he'd be connected to a man like that. And they famous people too. Why would you be connected to him? All of them. And then we know what he do. It's crazy. That's an insult to anybody's intellect. Okay. No comments.
Shalom. Would
Okay.
it be the demonic spirits that they inherit, or their ancestry spirits that's within them, using them to carry on these acts? I mean, because I'm thinking of, when he when the spirits overtake or use those vessels, like Satan used the serpent and then became a figure where he would beguile Eve. Would that be the spirits that's taking over their, or within their bodies? Those evil spirits of pedophilia.
Well, it's got to do with DNA. That's the whole reason why the average person don't understand none of this, and that's why they can't. Like I said, they want to say that it used to be until recently, with all this information came out, was that these 66 books in the King James Bible is all you need. The Most High, the Lord of Hosts, guarded those. He guarded the word, his word. He guarded over it, and it's pure, and nothing been made, it's not contaminated. It hasn't been hoodwinked. But now that they know that it has been hoodwinked, they think it's to a minor degree, but they butchered it. And so, in that, when saying that it was butchered, I mean, for example, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. That's one of the biggest lies in the Bible, because they are Noah's sons. So you say, what are you talking about? They hiding the DNA. It's not spirits. Cain descendants. Cain is the serpent, is Cain's father, and that lineage is on this planet, and it's still here. That's where the tie coming in at. And just like with Esau, it's like I was looking at the other day. It's obvious. He tells you that it's two boys born. One of them totally opposite. One of them red hair, hairy, red hair, and the other one is brown skin with no hair on it. Two different daddies. All these lies, and it's all these lies, and it's hiding the DNA. Like I said, this is basic species on this planet. That's what they do. Like I said, Cain. Why would Cain kill Abel? The Bible tell you Abel was righteous. Why? Because Adam was righteous. Adam is his daddy. Cain wicked. Why is he wicked? Because his daddy is serpent. Is his dad. That's why he wicked. That's that's 101. And so these people right here, look what they did in the transatlantic slave trade. Them ain't spirits. That's DNA. That's why they trying to come up with all this critical theory and race and all this race theory, critical theory stuff to try to subvert that. But it's obvious. If you're doing all that, then it's in your DNA. And that's what it's coming back to haunt them with all the things they didn't hate, covered over and lied about. It's out in the open now. They're trying to hide it. And with all the mixing going on, you don't know who's who because you look at a person because they color of their skin, you're thinking one thing, but their actions will tell you where they came from, their father, their lineage. And that's what's going on right now. Like plain example is what we're looking at in Israel. I don't know if anybody heard about that. I kind of got away from it. I didn't want to deal with it on the channel, but that synagogue. You heard about the synagogue in New York they found a couple of days ago? They found a tunnel in the
No,
synagogue.
sir. But
Yeah,
they had
yeah,
a movie about the tunnels. It was some kind of short film, and they were showing the movie where they went through a whole, I mean, b- long. I mean, they were going further and further and further, and different turns and swifts in this tunnel that was supposed to be underneath that synagogue. But
right. They found one
I
in New
didn't hear
York.
about anything today, or other than that movie, and that was a
Yeah,
couple of years ago.
you can Google it. I mean, I really don't want to talk about it much on here, but Google it. They just like with Hamas, all the tunnels they say they done dug and found under there. They got a synagogue in New York just yesterday, a couple days ago, and it's
Yes.
leading to all these different places under the synagogue. Yeah.
Yes, I heard it too. Shalom.
Okay. Uh, so with that being said, we're gonna start reading out of the book of Joel. Somebody want to start reading in chapter 1, and
Yes,
spread it
sir.
around.
Yes, sir. Chapter 1, Joel, the plague of the insects. The word of the Lord that came to Joel, the son of Hindu. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all ye inhabitants of the land. Have this been in your days, or even in the days of your father? Verse 3. Tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children and their children another generation. That which the palmer worm have left have the locust eaten, and that which the locust have left have the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm have left have the caterpillar eaten. Verse 5. Awake, ye drunkards, and weep, and howl, all ye drunkards of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. For a nation is come up my land strong, upon my land strong and without number, whose teeth are the teeth of a lion, and who have the teeth of a great lion. Verse 7. He have laid my vine waste, and barked my fig tree. He have made it clean bare, and cast it away. The branches thereof are made white. Lament like a virgin, girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. The meat of the offering and the drink offering is cut off from the house of the Lord. The priests and the Lord ministers mourn. I'm sorry. The field is wasted, and the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up, and the oil languished. Be ye ashamed, O ye husbandmen. Howl, O ye vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. Verse 12. The vine is drying up, and the fig tree languished. The pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. Gird yourself and lament, ye priests, howl, ye ministers of the altar. Come lie all unite in sackcloth, ye ministers of my God. For the meat offering and the drink offering is withholden from the house of your God. Sanctify ye as a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. Did you want to read all of the one, or because we only have 3 chapters? Is it
You finished with chapter 1?
finishing? No, no, sir. I just didn't know if you said to spread it around. I didn't know if you wanted
No,
to
no, you
just
can read
stop.
all of it.
Keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Verse 13. Gird yourself and lament, ye priests, howl, ye ministers of the altar. Come loud the night of sackcloth, ye ministers of the God. For the meat offering and the drink offering is withholden from the house of your God. Sanctify ye a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. The plagues of the insects, a type of day of the Lord. Verse 15. Alas the day, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and all as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Is not the meat cut off before our eyes, ye joy and gladness from the house of our God? Verse 17. The seed is rotten under their clods, the garners are laid desolate, and the barns are broken down, for the corn is withered. Verse 18. How do the beasts groan? The herds of the cattle are perplexed, because they have no pasture, ye the flocks of sheep are made desolate. Verse 19. O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath burned all the trees of the field. The beasts of the field cry also unto thee, for the rivers of waters are dried up, and the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness. Verse 1, chapter 1, 1 through 20 of the book of Joel.
Okay. Any comments?
It's well, I'm not familiar with this story, even though it's a short story, but it sounds like um, this is a punishment going on here from the people that did not serve the Lord of hosts, and this is a plague that's come upon them.
Right, right. This is what I mean, what I was just talking. Okay, but I was just telling what I was just talking about when people were saying, saying how people think that they know now that the Bible been tampered with. They no longer say that these 66 books is all you need and all this bull crap. So, and I'm saying that it's been butchered, right? And this is a prime example. So, if you go to Daniel, right?
Yes,
Go
sir.
to the book of Daniel, and you'll see it's plain. And that's what I mean by it's going to act as if this ain't been revealed to them. So it says in Daniel chapter 8, Daniel's in Babylon in the first beast, and he having these visions of what's coming. And we know it's 4 beasts. They in the first one. So Daniel has a vision in chapter 8. Nebuchadnezzar is the first beast, the lion. Then Daniel in chapter 8 has a vision of a ram and a he-goat. That's the second. Medes and Persian is the second beast. The third beast is the Greeks. So the angels gave Daniel the vision for him to tell the people about it so they can prepare for what's coming. So we get to chapter 8, verse 15, and the angel comes to tell Daniel the meaning of the vision. So it says, it came to pass when I, Daniel, had seen the vision, sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uriah, which called and said unto Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was afraid, and I fell upon my face. But he said unto me, understand, son of man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. So the angel coming to make Daniel understand that the nation of Israel, we know it's not the end of the world because we still here. So he says the time of the end, the time of the nation of Israel as a nation. It's going to come to an end. And he says in 18, now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. And he said unto me, behold, I will make thee know what shall be the last end of indignation, for the time appointed, the end shall be. Like I said, the end of the world. 20, end of Israel as a nation. 20, the ram, which thou sawest having two horns, are the Medes and Persians. We know that at this time right here, it ain't happened yet. The Medes and Persians ain't came yet. So then 21, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Then 22, now that being broken, right? So remember the narrative they got set in the whole world, all the churches and everywhere, global church system says that the Israelites ran out in 70 AD during the time of the Romans. That's what they told us. But Gabriel was telling Daniel right here in 21, the rough goat is the king of Greece, and the great horn is between his eyes is the first king, that's Alexandria. Now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. So Alexander died and four generals took over, and they divided the Greek kingdom. It's still in the third beast. The vision is of the second beast and the third beast. Rome ain't in his vision. So he says, 23, and in the latter times of their kingdom, Greek kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, a king of fierce countenance, understanding dark sinners shall stand up. That's Antiochus. That's in First Maccabees. Antiochus. 24, and his power, Antiochus, shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, practice and prosper and practice, and he shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. So Antiochus destroyed the holy people. That's the Israelites. Ain't but one set of holy people. So Antiochus destroyed the Israelites, not the Romans in 70 AD. And I showed you that in First Maccabees in 143 BC, the time of the end that Gabriel was talking about. Then 25, and through his policies also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince. See that? Yahweh ain't no prince. Yahweh ain't no prince. He shall stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken with our hands. So it's a prince that broke him, not Yahweh. So who is this prince? Michael. Michael broke him right here. This when the Israelites the nation of Israel came to an end. At the end of the third beast. That's what Joel, that's what you read in chapter 1 of Joel. Let's go back and look at the verses. Chapter 1 of Joel, verse 1. The word of the Lord that came unto Joel, the son of Pinchah. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all ye inhabitants of the land. Have this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers? Tell ye your children of it, and let their children tell their children, and their children another generation. That which is the palmer worm have left, have the locusts eaten, and that which the locusts have left, have the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm have left, have the caterpillar eaten. Awake, ye drunkards. That's what we had today, drunkards. Awake, ye drunkards, and weep and howl, all the drinkers of wine, because the new wine, for it is cut off from thy mouth. For a nation is come up upon my land. We're going to see who this nation is in a minute. A nation has come up upon my land, strong and without number, whose teeth as the teeth of a lion, and have the teeth of a great lion, have laid my vineyard to waste. Ain't that what he just told? What Gabriel told Daniel? Laid my vineyard to waste and bought my fig tree. He have made it clean bare. Not remnant left. He made it clean bare and cast it away. The branches there are made white. That's what Daniel said. Lamentate like a virgin girded with sackcloth for the husbandman of her youth. The meat offerings and the drink offerings is cut off from the house of the Lord. The priests, the Lord's ministers mourn. The field is wasted. The land mourning, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up. to all languages. Be ye ashamed, O ye husbandmen, how ye vine dressers for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. The field is dried up. The fig tree languishes. The pomegranate, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. So that's what Daniel prophesied. This is coming. Joel's right here is telling it's coming to pass. So, like I said, Daniel had a vision of the ram and the he-goat, the Greeks. Rome 4 be saying amen this. So now we go to chapter 2. Somebody want to read that? Or do I need to read it?
Yes, sir, I can read it. Shalom,
Okay.
everyone. Joel chapter 2, the dark day of the Lord. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There had not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land as the Garden of Eden, before them and behind them, a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots upon the tops of the mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. 7. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses, and they shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before the army, before his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Verse 12. Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting and weeping and with mourning, and rend your heart, and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? 15. Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their God? Verse 18. Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. Yea, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith. And I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen, but I will remove far off from you the northern army. and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, and his hindered part towards the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. 22. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring. For the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God. For he hath given the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. And the floors shall be full of wheat, and the vats shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army, which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty, and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that he had dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never be ashamed. 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions, and also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. Verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. That was Joel chapter 2, the dark day of the Lord.
Okay, so like I said in chapter 1, was being uh, is being become to pass what Daniel had said. And we see right here when he said the cankerworm, caterpillar, one after another one, they cleanse the land. They call the Israelites cast out. Then we get to chapter 2, a long period of time, Israel, where we at now, these 2,000 years. Then we get to chapter 2, he's telling them what he's going to, that when he coming back and what he going to do when he come back. And you notice in verse 11, chapter 2, verse 11, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army. What army? Ezekiel 37, the army. That's what we're looking at in verses 1 and 2. Blow your trumpet in Zion, sound my alarm in my holy mountain, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. Why? Because his army he's going to raise up. For the day of the Lord cometh. But when he raised up the army in Ezekiel 37, it's the day of the Lord. For it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness, of gloominess, a day of clouds and a thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong, they have never been in the light, neither shall there be after it, even the years of many generations. So that's them right here. And then he says, the fire devour before them, and behind them a flame burneth, and the land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a terrible wilderness, a desolate wilderness, and nothing shall escape them. That's this army, right? So they was promised before they died, before Romans came with this Jesus Christ thing and Serapis. They knew they was going to be resurrected. And they knew they was going to judge the earth. They already knew that when they died. That's why Joseph said, take my bones to Jerusalem. Because that's where he knew that's where he's going to get resurrected at. He told Daniel, go that way and sleep. And you're going to stand up in your light in the last days. All this right here. So you say, what are you talking about? And then you get to 31 and 32. It says, the sun shall be turned into darkness, the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. That's Ezekiel 37. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, right? They calling on Jesus right now. But right here, just like we see, you already got a remnant already waking up. They know who the Lord is. So he says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant of whom he shall call. That the remnant that woke up and know who he is. They ain't fumbling with JC. So you say, what are you talking about? Let me read chapter 3. And we'll see. It says, for behold, in those days, see that? Joel wrote this, like I said, these minor prophets talking to us. For behold, in those days and at that time, when I shall bring again the captivity, the one we in now, captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations. Check it out. I shall also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel. Now watch this. Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Now watch this. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Yea, and what have you to do with it? With me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine, will ye render me recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly, speedily will I return my recompense upon your own head. Now here go the carpet right here. Because you have taken my silver and my gold. It's 2,500 years ago. You have taken my silver and my gold, and I've carried it into the temples, my goodly temple, or my goodly pleasant things. Not Nebuchadnezzar, the Greeks, Antiochus. It tells you in First Maccabees. They came and got all this stuff and took it, right? And then it says, 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold to the Grecians. Third beast. Yeah? The Grecians. That ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them up out of the place where ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters in the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, and to the people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Yeah, this don't add up with the Peter and Paul going to the Gentiles to convert them. The time of the Gentiles. It ain't adding up. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare for war. Not prepare for baptism. He says, prepare for war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks in the spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens. See that? Greeks. But which one is it? He brought them in, or he finna put foot in them. So he says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about desert, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, and let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge. See that? Not baptize and bless. He says, for the judge all the heathens round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full. So they multiply over the whole earth. Like the blessing that Esau asked his daddy. Do you have a blessing for me? He said, yeah. You're gonna live in the fat places of the earth, all over globally, all over the earth, but by the sword. You're gonna get it out of wickedness. So he says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full. That it multiply. They're all over the whole earth. The vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes and multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw its shining. So is the sun and the moon gonna get dark when this army is raised up, or when JC comes? Right? The Lord also shall roar out of Zion. There you go again. Precept upon precept. Out of Zion, not out of the heavens of heavens. The Lord shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heathen and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of Israel. So shall ye know that I, the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain, then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no stranger pass through her anymore. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and the fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shechem. Right? Egypt shall be a desolation. Edom shall be desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem for generation to generation, for I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. So when he said he's going to cleanse their blood that he have not cleansed, is what Esau did when they was kicked out back in 140 BC. That's what the army is for, that he raised up. In Ezekiel 37, extremely great army. It's the whole house of Israel. So there it is right there. It's all right here. And like I said, you got all kind of nut buckets reading this and turning it all kind of ways when it's simple and plain. The Greeks ran us out. That's why when he come back, he's gonna deal with the Greeks. And the Greeks has come from, like I was saying earlier, the Greeks come out of Cain descendants, the Greeks and the Romans. The last two beasts is the time of the Gentiles. They wicked as hell. He ain't bringing them in. Now right here, Joel telling you he's coming to judge them for what they done to Israel. Any comments?
Shalom. The bear, the lion, the bear, the leopard, what are them in chapter 7?
What chapter that's in?
Chapter 7 in Daniel's chapter 7.
It's in chapter 2.
Um,
You got two different stories about the same thing. Chapter
yeah,
2 is in metals, and
yes,
then
sir.
chapter 7 is in. Chapter 2 is in metals, and chapter 7 is in animals. But it's the
Yes,
same
sir.
story,
Okay, okay.
right? So first beast is Daniel tells Nebuchadnezzar is a lion. That's the Chaldeans. The second beast is the Medes and Persians, and
The
then
bear.
the bear. Then the last two, if you look at it, the Greeks, if you go to chapter 10, and the Gentiles, the Greeks are one of the sons of Javan. Is Javan, one of the sons of, and then Rome is Chechen. They
That's
Gentiles.
the terrible beast, right?
Yeah, that's a couple. What's actually happening is being amalgamated all together. The Medes and the Chaldeans, when they was conquered by the Medes and Persians, the Medes and Persians picked up what Nebuchadnezzar was doing. They didn't destroy what Nebuchadnezzar had done. They just incorporated into them. So they just got strong. The beast got stronger. Then the Greeks came. They just took what the Chaldeans and the Medes and Persians done and incorporated into thing. And then the Romans came and they incorporated all what was before them all together. That's why the last beast got part lion, he looked like a lion. He got claws like a bear, and he got stripes like a leopard because it's all been intermingled all together. It's one beast.
Whoa. Yes, sir.
That's what that is. So when the stone comes, which is the nation of Israel, which is Ezekiel 37, and strike the beast, the image at the feet. That's when all that we done read about, when what Nebuchadnezzar done, what Cyrus done, what Antioch Epiphanes and all them done, Julius Caesar and all them, goes away like a chaff in the summer wind. The Israelites wipe it off the planet. Not Jesus. The stone ain't Jesus. The stone is the nation of Israel that's been resurrected with David and leading it. That's why it says they, not them. He says they. Let's look at it. Daniel chapter 2. Daniel chapter 2. Chapter 2, starting at 31. It says, Daniel talking to Nebuchadnezzar, thou, O king, saw it, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly as his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, and his feet part iron and part clay. Thou sawest till a stone was cut. They tell you this Jesus. A stone was cut out with our hands. We smote the image upon the feet that were iron and clay and break them in pieces. Then was the iron and the clay and the brass and the silver and the gold broken into pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer's threshing floor, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. So let's go to Daniel chapter let me see, 9, I believe it is. Let me see. Okay, 9. Let me get it. It's been torn out of here. Let me get my Bible. Okay. Says Daniel. Chapter. Chapter 7, verse 15. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he made me know the interpretation of things. He said, these great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise in the earth. Now here you go. This is the stone. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and forever. So the saints is the stone, which is an army. A saint is somebody that was alive, died, and came back. Saints. So that's Ezekiel 37. The Israelites, he resurrected. And Joel said a trumpet sounded, and then great people, great and strong, came up. That's the saints, not Jesus Christ. It says the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. That's the stone that hit the image at the very end. It says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and shall possess the kingdom forever, even and forever. And so, like I was saying before, it ain't but one kingdom. It's David. It started out, David is king. It's David's kingdom that he gave David. He said it's an eternal kingdom. David's kingdom was eternal. And he promised David he's going to always have a son out of his lineage on his throne until the end. And he's going to put David back on his own throne. So this stone is not Jesus. So that should be enough right there to get you to thinking right there. But these folks get rolled off like water on a duck bag.
Shalom.
Okay.
Also, are they mentioning about that mountain, like in Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2, where it says, well, I'm going to go with one first. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountain, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all the nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, the house of God of Jacob, and he shall teach us his ways, and we shall walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord of Jerusalem. And he
Right. That's the
shall
same thing.
judge, sir.
That's the same thing. It's the same
Yes, sir.
precept. Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So it's all through. It's all we can get it. Um, it's just when it repeats itself in such a way. This is true. This is showing us
Right.
truth.
Exactly. Right. So look at when you go to chapter 3. This is something I had skipped over. Chapter 3, verse 16 says, "The Lord also shall roar." See that? We know that this going just not Yahweh. Like I said, He don't dwell in Zion. He said, "The Lord shall roar out of Zion and utter His voice from Jerusalem." Then here we go, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. So He said, "What are you talking about?" This is what people not getting. So go to Ezekiel 37. He said He's gonna roar out of Zion, out of Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth gonna shake. Right. So if you go to Ezekiel, right quick, this is the sign right here. Nobody seems to know about. Go to Ezekiel 37. Okay. Yeah, there it is. It says, uh, in Ezekiel 37, verse 9, verse 6, Ezekiel 37, 6. "And I will lay sinew upon you, and I will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and breath shall come into you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord." That's what He's talking to our saints, all our forefathers, when He raised them up. "So I prophesied as I was commanded," right? Ezekiel prophesied as I was commanded, uh, and there was a noise, and behold, there you go, a shaking it, and the bones came together. That's the shaking it. When it's shaking it, the heavens and the earth gonna shake. That's resurrecting our forefathers. That's a sign. And then you go to Ezekiel 38, see the same thing. It says, uh, right here, it says, this one, he delivered us, and we then left here. He didn't deliver us out of his land, but these people decided to, let me see if I can find it. It says, verse 11, 38 and 11. "And thou shalt say, I will go to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. So we've been delivered, right, from these people. Then they say, then they come up with this idea they're going to go do the same thing again, like they did with the transatlantic slave trade, to take a spoil, take a prey, to turn thy hand upon thy desolate places that are now inhabited, upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba, Dedan, the merchants of Tarsus, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil, as thou gather thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, and to take cattle and goods, and to take great spoil. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Lord God, in that day when my people Israel dwell safely, shalt thou not know it, and thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, and they shall be riding upon horses, a great company and mighty army, and thou shalt come, right, against my people Israel as a cloud to cover the land, and it shall be in the latter days, where we are now, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. Then here we go right here. Thus says the Lord God, art thou he whom I have spoken of in times, old times, by thy servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years, that I will bring thee against them. Then here you go. It shall come to pass at the same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, says the Lord, that my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken it. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. That's our forefathers being raised up. And the whole earth is shaking because of he raising up all his people out of their graves. That's a cue. Okay. Anybody got any comments, questions?
Shalom. That means that the Lord of hosts will be our shelter.
Right. That's Daniel chapter 12.
Yes, sir.
They tell you at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, that's standing for the children of Israel, and at that time they shall be delivered. That's who comes from Zion, roaring, Lord of hosts. Okay. Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that being said, we say shalom, shalom on another shalom. See everybody.
Shalom, shalom.
Okay.